Now, this news is about 2 days old at the time I'm recording this video, and it is about K-pop, something that I have never talked about before on this channel and never expected to talk about, but apparently I am, because as we all know, Korea is just like, going crazy like in nowadays, like with like people not knowing if Kim Jong-un is dead or not. And now the K-pop community on Twitter, as typical, they're going crazy, and they are now going crazy over Joji. And if you don't know who Joji is, he is a mute. He is one of my favorite artists of all time. He makes tons of great music. He is mostly well known for Slow Dancing in the Dark, which is a great song. In fact, a lot of his songs are great in my opinion. He's one of my favorite artists of all time, to me personally. I really love and support his music. I think Joji is a great human being in general. His real name is George Miller, by the way. And for those who know a lot about Joji, will know that before his music career, which is what he has had passion about ever since he was younger, before his music career, he had a YouTube career that lasted from his teenage life to up until 2017, when he ended his YouTube career as Filthy Frank, Pink Eye, etc. Basically, on YouTube, he would play all these fictional characters that he just made up in his head, with very controversial and edgy humor. Humor that was a lot like South Park, if you ask me personally. And K-pop is only now K-pop is only recently noticing about Joji's past, that Joji used to play Filthy Frank and Pink Eye, all these characters, and that his offensive South Park type humor that Filthy Frank would do. And the K-pop community is trying to now ban Joji, cancel him on Twitter, and they started some sort of certain hashtag, but I can't really exactly remember who. And it's been said before that Joji is not trying to hide his past, because playing the characters on the Filthy Frank show did really smash up his health, like his mental health and physical health, because like he was born with something that like is in his brain and all that. And also the fact that like he changes his voice whenever he does Frank, and it really just kind of hurted his throat, I guess. And also, not to mention the fact that he would smoke in the Filthy Frank videos. He would smoke cigars and all that, and in general. And although I think George Miller is a great human being, I did find the Filthy Frank channel, very hilarious. There's that channel has tons of funny videos that I was first introduced to in 2016, thanks to Sunday's Try Not to Laugh YouTube video, which introduced me to Filthy Frank. Shout out to Sunday, by the way. Thanks, Sunday. Without him, I would have never known who Filthy Frank or Joji was, and I still remember when Filthy Frank ended in 2017. But yeah, like anyone, like those who support Joji either support him because they like randomly found his music or whatever, or because they are Filthy Frank subscribers just wanting to continue with them, because actually back in 2011 was when Joji first like showed his real self, but everyone didn't like that, so he deleted the video and it has been re-uploaded. Like, he exposed the fact that Filthy Frank and Pink Eye were not real in that video and all that. And it's been said before that like Joji fans are either just people who love music or people who love Filthy Frank. And there are some out there who discover Filthy Frank after they discover Joji, and it is hilarious. And it makes them think that like Joji's trying to cover up his past, and which he is not, because Joji has before mentioned several times that like Filthy Frank and all that, and like so obviously he's like not trying to cover it up, because like he's well aware, he's mentioned multiple times that like doing Filthy Frank affects his health. And so yeah, what do you guys think of this whole situation that K-pop just does not appreciate Joji just because of his past with controversial and edgy humor on YouTube? And I'll see you guys next time.
I got no props like a rundown theater play. Ball so hard like my nuts are in spandex. These bandits will see my antics and bounce like gymnastics.